Good morning. I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Juicy Jones headquarters, Orbital Vaping headquarters. And today we're going to talk about cotton and rewicking. I've got a whole bunch of RDAs and RDTAs sitting on the desk right here. And we're going to talk about Texas Tuff, which Texas Tuff kind is better for each different thing, and what cotton we like best. Hint, Texas Tuff. And guess what else I have is a new gold B2K deck. How cool is that? Um, I just realized that on that other view, I had that silly logo on there as well. Didn't need that. I hope all of you are having a great morning. I am Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping headquarters. Grab a cup of coffee. Oh, it's Saturday morning. We're going to relax and we're going to rebuild a whole bunch of stuff. We're not going to actually do much building, although I have this brand new gold B2K deck to match my cool stainless one. But I've got like single coils, RTAs, RDTAs, and RDAs here, sitting here, and I just want to talk to you guys about what my favorite cotton is and how I like to wick stuff, because I get asked this all the time. In the audience, I hope you guys are having a great morning. I've got the chat popped out. I want to thank everybody who came this morning here. David Stewart, Julie, Rain, Kyle, Dude Mang, Weird Will, hi. And Michaela, of course, all y'all, good morning, everybody. And I want to thank everybody who donated last week. That was really great. Stephen, Crazy Canuck, and Jim Boctration. I love all y'all. You were great. They did that through the super chat system, and you can always just click on that little thing down there. All the proceeds go to buying cotton and buying equipment and paying electricity and stuff like that. This is a user-supported channel, you and me. So I also want to just say hi to new subscribers. We've got Max, Terry, Vincent, Emmanuel, Bamdle79, The Christmas Fairy, Matt, Kibisiyama, Night Owl, Olafson, Tiffany, Dan, Saul, David Drill, Event, Carl. There's more, but I just can't read everybody. But I just want to thank all y'all. So let's talk about cotton. You guys know that I'm super picky about cotton. And as you're watching, tell me what kind of cotton you like. Just chime in, tune in. I've got the chat popped out right here, but I'm going to show you guys kind of my mojo and how I do it. And frequent viewers will know that this is all a little bit of repeat testimony, but there's different kinds of Texas Tuff. I personally think that Texas Tuff is the best kind of cotton. And the reasons are going to become apparent here as I talk about these things. But of course, I've tried and used everything on the market that there is except for Celtic and a few more. I'm always eager to try new cotton, and every time I'm approached, I always try it and give it a shot and compare them all. My favorite is always still Texas Tuff, and the reason is that Texas Tuff has the durability and it has technical features about the way it works that make it work the best for me, especially because I like RTAs and I like RDTAs, and Texas Tuff works really the best in those. And other ones have flaws to me, like I don't like the sponginess of them, and I don't like the fragility of them, like Kendo, for example, is that way. Uh, and some people are tuning in here. Hey, Sammy Joe, nice to see you. Kyle, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's look at these things. I've got, and also I want to get excited. I want all y'all to get excited. I've got like everything under the sun here. I'm going to show you a super old build that I have that has Texas Tuff in it and some others. These are the RTAs that I've been using lately. This is the Haster, and this is the Axis, the Gems Axis RTA, which has got a crazy deck, as you guys know. It's so humongous. The thing about the Gems Axis RTA, look how close I have those coils to the airflow. The airflow is gigantic, and you have to use a lot of cotton in this device. A lot of cotton. And the reason why you have to use a lot is because the airflow is so huge and the cotton juice flow holes are so huge that you really can put, you know, a 60 watt build like I have on here. This is a, what do we have here? 0.25. This is a quad core alien that's in here. So it's cool. I got this from Alienated Vapes, our friend Dan Lancaster. And this quad core works great in this RTA as a single coil because it registers a little higher. So it's like an extra wrap. So this is really great. I'm ordering more of these from him for this purpose. And this actual coil, this is the quad core. I think it's Nichrome 80. I didn't throw anything away. Yeah, this is Nichrome 80. 28 inside, 36 on the outside. Julie LeBlanc says it's not your pansy ass cotton ball. That's funny. Google tried to censor that. And as you see, the axis has got a big, huge clamps down there. It also has clamps here that I haven't used that you could do to make a couple of verticals or something. I don't know. I'm not super into clamps. But so we've got this. We're going to wick this. And I use Texas Tuff with this. And for this one, I'm going to use the Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks. I'll show you what they are. This one is a slightly narrower coil, also from Dan, that I have on the Haster. But this one is Nichrome 90. So this is a very soft metal. And it hasn't really aged very well. I've had this in here for a week. And it's looking great. All of the cotton that was in here that we did and that I've used in the last week on these was still fine. I didn't need to get rid of any of it. I did because I wanted to show you guys. I want to show you guys that this is Quick Wicks that's been here for months. You can see the coils look kind of old, but they're not too bad, to be honest. This is the AIM 9 from AS Vape. And I have been using this steadily for months, using Van Gogh vapes and using Quick Wicks from Texas Tuff. And this stuff still looks amazingly good. Sorry, I have a little stray hair there. I got to get rid of that. It's driving me crazy. And the reason why this is frayed here right now is that this morning I went through this and I just sort of brushed off these coils with a little synthetic brush I have while they were cold. Remember, if you're going to use anything synthetic on your coils, do it when they're cold. That's so important. The reason I did it at all with anything that's synthetic is that this is a gold-plated deck and I didn't want to scratch it with metal, and it was this soft. This is super soft bristle. So this is not something you'd ever want to do hard or hot, but cold it was okay. But as you can see, it screws up my wicking just a little teeny bit. Not a big deal. But so these are months old, and this still tastes and works just fine, like it's new, basically. So it's kind of amazing. This box doesn't work with anything. So that is awesome. I'm also just going to show you that we redid the pyramid just a couple of days ago. I should move the focus a little bit lower because this is the pyramid that we did just a couple of days ago together. Where did we do this live? I can't remember, but somewhere. And these wicks are looking just absolutely fantastic in here. I've been squonking with this and dripping with it. And they look great. This is Texas Tuff Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks. I'm going to tell you the difference between all the different kinds in just a second. In here, we're going to use Quick Wicks because this is an RDTA. We're going to build this. We'll do it together. So let's go look at the different kinds. Oh, and if you're interested, if you guys want to see some just deck porn, this is my new B2K deck that just got here. It has a squonk pin, which I have not opened yet. Squonk pin, extra grub screws, an extra thing. All I really needed was the squonk pin and the flat pin, but it comes with an extra O-rings too, and extra grub screws. So it's a good kit. This was great. It's just an extra deck, and it's beautiful and gold plated. And I believe those wells are a little deeper on this guy. And I think that the angle of the air is a little bit different too. But all of the parts fit the same. And here are the parts from my old, oh yeah, from the other B2K, the Caviar edition I got. Oh, I'm so excited. So I thought we might build this if you want to. You guys tell me. Hey, Owen. Hey, nice to see you. Absolutely love this thing. I'm a huge fan of the B2K. I just love these. I think they're great. So we can put something in there. This is the Haster. Oh, I just showed you guys this already. It's got 4 posts on here, and you can just sort of do it symmetrically. This is a great thing. It's got very large holes as well on here. And you have to use enough cotton in here. So let's check out the different kinds of Texas Tuff. Seriously, typically what you get from people is a big bag of, like, this is the worst cotton in the world. Never buy this crap. It's Anglo Rabbit. But this is a spongy cotton. They come in a big bag. I just had that laying on the deck. Cotton bacon comes in the same thing. But these from Texas Tuff come in these little pre-cut bags. And what I dig about these is that they're already cut to the lengths that you need, and you don't have to go digging around inside there. So this is the Juicy Wicks. Their original product offering was Texas Tuff and Juicy Wicks. And Juicy Wicks was the spongier kind of cotton, and Texas Tuff, it was more stranded and combed out. And so then they made an even more combed out version called Quick Wicks, and this is my favorite kind. I use this in all RTAs because, as you can see, the stranding and the orientation of these makes it such that you get a little bit more brightness in it. Right? The original one and the spongier ones are not as oriented as these are. So this one is the Juicy Wicks, and as you can see, this one is pretty much like Mooch cotton. You can see that it doesn't have all the tiny imperfections removed. It has basic stranding, and it comes in a cake. And you just peach off little pieces of this cake. And so it's like pre-made Mooch, and it's really nice. It works great. I liked this for RDAs quite a bit. And when we originally did the original review for Texas Tuff, remember that this is the one that I picked. Gosh, you can barely feel this stuff. It's so fine and beautiful. That this stuff was my favorite for RDAs, even over the spongier kind. But now they have a new kind. The Quick Wicks is the most stranded kind of all of their different kinds. And the Juicy Wicks is a cross between Quick Wicks and Juicy Wicks. So this is my new favorite for RDAs because it still retains some of the stranding. As you can see, I'm almost out of this bag. It still retains the same puffiness and sponginess of this, so it eats up extra stuff that you have from over dripping. It soaks up stuff from squonking inside there, and it doesn't rot out, it doesn't stretch, and it doesn't burn. So that's really good. And it has some of the orientated, I didn't say orientated, it has some of the orientation properties of Quick Wicks. And Quick Wicks, which I have an open bag right here, Quick Wicks is super great because it's super stranded and is perfect for things like RTAs and RDTAs. And in this new generation of RTAs, like the Haster and the Axis, that have super giant holes in them for juice holes, this is really nice because it's a little bit more absorbent and it still get a little bit more of the speed that you get out of the super orientation of this. So it's really cool. So let's just do some of these, right? We just finished the Axis, so let's just do it again. And the Axis was super easy. We used the Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks because it was the fattest. I might actually use this because I'm just curious what the old Juicy Wicks will work like in one of these newer style tanks like we have these. I need to move my head over here. So I'm going to take off a 3.5 millimeter size piece of this, which is going to feel like a lot. We're going to tear it. That isn't enough. Yeah, one thing I like about the newer ones is that they're pre-stranded, so you don't have to do as much of the guesswork about how much to get out. You can just grab one piece of it and then go. So here we have it. This stuff is so fine feeling. Sometimes you can just barely feel it in your fingers. So bizarre. I love that. And I'm pulling it through. And to me, it feels like that's too tight. This is going to be a super duper high airflow. Or not high airflow. Well, yeah, actually, it's restricted air, but it's got extremely high juice flow. Seems weird that the airflow is so high right there and it's so low coming into the device. So I feel like I need to take off a tiny amount of that, like that much. Maybe the fringe. Give that a shot back in there. They try really hard to comb these cotton. Yeah, that feels better. These cottons are combed pretty hardcore. And one thing I love about Texas Tuff is that it doesn't shrink or expand. Oh, where's my... There. I have crane scissors. and a falling light. Crane scissors. Crane scissors. These are nice. They come from Italy. I misuse them and abuse them. Need to clean them. They're covered in e-liquid, which is nasty. Oh well. Italian. And this guy is fairly easy. We just cut it below here on the axis. But you don't thin out any of the diameter on here because on the axis it's a very large diameter RTA. It has very large juice holes. So you want to basically keep the diameter and keep the length as short as you can. I've kept the length longer than I think is necessary, but it will be okay. The ones that I took out of here were actually trimmed right up to the top. This RTA has a flaw in that the deck is raised up like 5 millimeters from the bottom, and so at the end you can use cotton to dangle it down into the bottom, but it just takes forever. And there's no reason to use cotton. Cotton is the slowest part of this process. We have a less is more philosophy here on Juicy Jones HQ, and there we are inside there. I just put the cotton in, we take it to the bottom, trim it right underneath, and then we screw the top on. I'm going to get some e-liquid, which I didn't plan very well, so I didn't think about which one to use, and I have decided that I'm going to use Eaton Mess because I love Van Gogh vapes. And they are great, and they provide e-liquid for us to test stuff on. Being good. I'm pre-wetting the sides here where they're going to go down in there and to the top. I'm not going nuts, but you definitely want to make sure that it's got some liquid in it before you start the main tank procedure. Oops, sorry, I wasn't showing you. That was lame. How lame is that? See, all I'm doing is holding that with both of my thumb and forefinger. Lightly, too, I will add. Barely adding just a little juice to it. Then I'm going to give it just a teeny little fire just to dry it out. Put a little bit more in there. And then I'm going to screw the top on. Simple. It's quite simple. Have the axis here. And as you guys well know, I hate long tails under these things because it violates the laws of physics that make atomizers go. But atomizer designers and manufacturers keep doing this because they just keep telling themselves fallacies about how things work. They do it because they need a different product to sell that looks different or whatever. But they've come up with some like dumb justifications, these ideas, and they make no sense. But they defeat the laws of why we should be doing things. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this thing where. There we are. Nope, I didn't get it. What was I doing wrong? This isn't intrinsically problematic because this thing has got such a huge juice flow hole. It doesn't really have problems. So it's really just me getting it wrong. Step one is to make sure this is firmly inside there so it's true when you go down here. Then when you start screwing, yeah, see, you get first try. So things are always easier than they look. Oh, Lake, I want to thank you so much in the super chat. You sent $5 as a donation, and I really appreciate that. That makes a big difference, and I love you, and I thank you very much. Or gal, if you're a gal. I think it's great, too. Gals are good vapors. We have tons and tons of gals in the vape fan. Also, I want to remind everybody, just if you're late tuning in here, I'm Eli Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, Juicy Jones HQ. We're here twice a week, Saturdays and Wednesdays, and today we're looking at the Texas Tuff selection and what's the difference between them, which ones to use in RDA, RTA, and RDTA, and get a cup of coffee. Because we're going to be here for a little while. I appreciate all of you. Right now we're just on the desk down here working on Jim's axis. So I've got that guy screwed in. We're going to put a little e-liquid in this thing and just set it aside. Just set it aside briefly, then we'll build another one. In a few minutes, we'll vape on all these. So in this one, I use the Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks because It requires a spongier type of cotton because it has huge juice flow. Remember that in tight and tolerant places, like in your TFV8 or in, you know, your Kylan or in some of your Serpent, which we're going to use the Serpent RDTA here in 1 second. When you're using those with the tighter tolerances, you want to use cotton that's very oriented and stranded. Like I said, my favorite is Juicy, or is Texas Tuff, and I'm using the hybrid one, Juicy Wicks, here. Although, oh no, not the hybrid one. I'm using the original spongy one from Texas Tuff, and this one, Juicy Wicks. And the reason is because of the high airflow and the high juice flow. Now, let's take Ye Old Faithful, the Serpent RDTA, and build on this. And for this, I'm going to pick a different kind of Texas Tuff. I'm going to pick Quick Wicks. And the reason I'm picking Quick Wicks is that the Serpent requires a little bit more of a precision type of flow. And in fact, maybe we can just do a little experiment here. We got to grab a build, first of all, which I have some. I do not have a normal coil. A very small one is ideal. So I'm just going to take throwaway stock coil here at 3 millimeters, base it. Come on, buddy. Put it in there. Okay, so this is not going to be fancy, but it's going to be about the wicking. That looks like it is a Phillips head on the Serpent RD. The thing about RDTAs is RDTAs require precision type of wicking, and this particular one is not necessarily a very large scale one. This is a fairly small flavory type of RDTA that has good airflow, absolutely. We're going to put one side of that in, screw it down, take the other side. Oh, that didn't screw. It unscrewed. Let's see. Here we go. Just making sure. I use my Serpent RDTA all the time. I love this thing. These are really great. They're super easy to build. You just plop it in. For some reason I'm having so much trouble today because my guide is not working. There we go. Oh, because I was doing it left-handed. You guys ever have moments like that? Here I'm just using my thumb to put that lead back underneath there. And giving it a good suggestion with the screwdriver side. And we're almost in. Go. Do this the easy way with my thumb. The nice thing about single coils is that you're in charge here, because with a single coil, you really don't need to worry about lead links or anything. You just set it where you want it. All right, we're going to grab the cutters, the extra, right quick. Take a second. With the Serpent RDTA and other ones like this, it's important to cut right to the sides. All these are the same way. And I'll show you my super tramp, absolutely guaranteed method for wicking RDTAs. RDTAs are simple. It is less is more. That's the trick here. So we're going to use less. For this, we're using the Texas Tuff Quick Wicks. And Quick Wicks is the most stranded kind of the Texas Tuff. As you can see, it's absolutely combed straight out. It doesn't have any of the little kinks or bulbs or nothing. We have a 3mm coil, so I'm going to start with a little bit too much. Just pop in here. I'm going to notice that this side didn't fully set. Screw it down completely. For some reason I'm having torque problems with my world. Oh, looks good. A little bit too far down, actually. I don't want it touching anything. You just want it as close to the air as you can get it. And the place that you want the coils, your coils can't go out further than halfway here to your wicking holes on an RDTA. Just remember that. That's RDTA rule. It won't work well. That, nope. I think I do have too much. It's fine. So. Big and small amount off. I'm telling you, not much. Go. Since this is all pre-stranded, it is so nice that you sort of take a chunk and then groom it as you go. It looks like we have a snack. No snack, baby. All the way through, and it pulls nicely. These guys are simple. Stop it right. Clean it up. Throw this guy in here. Then we're going to pull him out a little bit. Make sure it's all straight. It's funny because it feels really dreamy. You can barely. Oh, by the way, there's a link to Texas Tuff. They only sell this on eBay. And there's a link in the description right there. Texas Tuff is great. They've been supporting our channel for a long time, and it's nice that for me it's nice that my favorite product is also the one that likes it. Because truth be told, it's better that way. But the goal here is that you want that to be absolutely as short as possible on the inside so that the e-liquid will climb up the stainless steel after it climbs up the glass and not have to worry about cotton. Should be able. Got away a similar amount. That's probably too much to be. It is too much, but we'll just split the difference. We'll deal with the consequences later. We can always go back and trim everything, don't forget. In this case, I just know for certain that it doesn't need to go that far down inside. Oops, sorry. The most important thing, though, is that you make sure that you don't kink or knot or lump these. So I try to put them in there sort of back to front. Then tug on them from the other side a little bit. Just make sure everything is oriented just so. Yeah, I uncovered a little spot there where I got one. So then it's okay. Similar thing over. Getting a little tired of that little lump on that. Believe it or not, that little lump is nice for getting pieces of cotton in. With this dental tool. But as you can see, I'm super anal about the way I wick these things, because if you get them right and nail it, then you just don't have to mess with it for a long time. And the best method is to give it a shot, try it, then if it's not working the way you want, then pop it open, adjust it, pull it out, trim it, trim away extra stuff, thin it out if you have to. If it isn't, if it's too thin, you're getting leaking, then get in there and redo it. Do yourself a favor. Doo-doo-doo. It really is worth the effort, because you sort of just do it one time and then it works. Alrighty then. We're going to put some Eaten Mess in this one as well. In this case, there's a little slosh top. Get this onto a mod. Doo-doo-doo. Which I have a better one. The old trusty Capo 100 from iJoy. Michaela, I got them on Amazon. I think I posted a link to this on the into the Discord recently, but it would have disappeared. You can search Discord, actually, believe it or not. I will find a link for you, though. It was recently. I just got them. I like them a lot. They're really useful. They are very useful for this stuff. I don't need the little case, but the tools are so sharp and new that it seems foolish not to use it for now. All right. Okay, so now wet it. Quick one. Quick one. Put a little e-liquid in there. And the way this works is adhesion, capillary action after that, gravity and air pressure. Hey, Omar. Let's see. Hey, Motor Harping Vapor Guy. Great to see you. All right. Next. Now we have a cool Serpent Mini RDTA ready to go. The P3.mod drip tip on it. What is that, 2? What do we need to do now? The Haster? Let's put the Haster on the same one we put the AS vape that I was just illustrating. This AS vape is a good illustration because I just keep it built and vape it and grab it and vape it. It's one of my staple RDAs. I really love that thing. So we use the juicy wicks and then we use the quick wicks. On the Haster, this one has also got a lot of airflow. This time we're going to use the hybrid, the juicy wicks, quick wicks. I believe it's the same one I used when I built it originally on the show. And I tell you, it just worked great. Why does everything say Chac Atomizer on this mod these days? I think this mod, now almost 2 years old, a year and a half, 2 years old, is not happy. See what's going on, because all these RTAs and RDAs are new. Yeah. It still says Chac Atomizer, which makes no sense. I mean, I will check it. but I only unbuilt it. I just unwicked it just for this show. And these are flathead down facing grubs. It's not touching that. So the mod is screwed up. Man, what a disappointment. Stupid mod. Captain to the rescue. All right, what do we got? Yep, 0.23. 98 watts is way too much. We're going to just drop that down. Just down to about 30, just for testing here is fine. Yeah, see? So we're still doing great with this thing. We just adjusted it in the first part of the show. It's glowing perfectly. I'm not loving the orientation there, but I can just get in there. Yeah, look at that. Yep, works great. Yeah, so this time we're going to use not the original Juicy Wicks, which I shall put back in the package. And like I said, the original Juicy Wicks works great for RDAs, and here we're trying it in the in the GEMS Axis RTA, because the GEMS Axis is just a monster for juice flow as long as you're above this line. Once you get below here, it's a monster for not having juice flow. Okay, so all we need here is the Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks. So first I'm going to put away my last strand. This is my Quick Wicks. And let me pop out the Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks and show you guys the difference. What you'll see is that it has a little bit more of the natural Juicy Wicks style of it's super duper combed, and so it looks really like they literally just mixed the two varieties of cotton. This is Quick Wicks on the bottom, and this is Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks on top, which is a hybrid of what we just used here, the one that was a big cake, and the combed kind. So it's really best of both worlds in a way. It's got a little bit more sponginess than this. The reason why the Texas Tuff isn't very spongy, which I like, is because this has been oriented and combed perfectly. So this is RTA material. And the Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks has a little bit more of an absorbency type of profile. And so it works a little bit better. This is my opinion. It works a little bit better in some of these newer single coil beasts that just want a lot of juice flow and don't always have high airflow. You guys know what I mean? I think you do. Come on, dude, stop doing that. All right, made it all the way through. We don't have to get through very far with this one. The Haster is an easy one too, and it has the same flaw that the GEMS Axis has, which is that it is raised up 3.5 millimeters too far up off the deck for some reason because of current fashions. They are just fashions. Because physically, it is contraindicated by the physics. It isn't a flaw that makes a lot of these stop working because the tolerances are so high that it doesn't really always matter. But don't let people tell you that it's better, because it physically is not better. It's just a fashion. People like to have a new RDA to sell, a new RTA to sell. I mean, honestly, the new Hester RTA, you'd be like, you know, that it's just a way to sell more products, y'all. How they do it. So I need to trim a little bit more off there. All good. I'm going to pull that out, straighten it out, trim it. And for the Haster, I'm going to leave a little bit of a beard outside of my normal. Stuff is so silky and so well combed. I love it. Absolutely love this stuff. So we're doing pretty well. As you can see, it's substantially the same as the Axis, except for the Haster is just a slightly smaller RTA, that's all. Quite simply. All right, so we're going to wet that in just a second. Now I'm going to fold this down, cut it. Try to speed up for you guys. I want to at least get to one of the RDAs. We have to. Because honestly, if you can do an RDA, an RTA, you can do all the RDAs in the world. RDAs are not complicated. I honestly have also begun just liking the quick wicks, juicy wicks. Just, it works for everything. We tested this last summer and I loved it. And they finally just made it into the product, and it's pretty much what I use now. All of that was just to make sure I had the correct inside diameter. It's very important to feel that out. Make sure you have the correct e-liquid inside the thing. You have to match the hole. Because remember, the cotton is just a stopper for the e-liquid. To get it into here to vaporize, you got to get in there. Flicking this and giving it some real short, dry pulses just to get the evaporation going. Start the process. It'll be flooded here in just a minute. Let's see, we control the process ourselves by gradually doing it ourselves. I may have to trim some out of the top there. We're pretty good. In a second, I'm going to screw the top down on it. Until I've significantly had some more. Thus, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure that all the cotton that I've got that was intended to fill the inside diameter of my coil is inside the threads of that, or between the threads, and not somewhere else. Because once we put the cap down on here, which I have here in my right hand, if we do this, we won't be able to adjust it. Well, we will, but we want this to be right the first time. And we've done it. We have good seal. I'm continuing to go. There's a little bit of water in there. The Haster has a messy, crappy bottom right there, but it also has the same problem that it comes up off the bottom. You slow down when you use the cotton to suck this off the bottom, but it takes forever. The Haster has an easy filling port, which is fun. There it is. Pop. This just takes a half a turn in any direction and it'll come out. Or I just had all these in the ultrasonic just there for a few minutes, and then I set them down wet on top of piles of used cotton. And they got all fuzzy. There's fuzz all over my desk. Okay, so I've got a fuzzy desk. All right, a little bit of eaten mess goes in here. Can you guys tell I love eaten mess? We're only going to put enough in here to go up to the air pressure line there, the gravity line. All right. There we go. And so there we are. So I showed you guys that there is Texas Tuff in all of this stuff. This is the Juicy Wicks Quick Wicks that they just made that we just used in this other one. Let's zoom up in here. And this thing works absolutely fantastically. Squonking, it's a little bit more absorbent, plus it also has a little bit more of the directional quality. I swear by this variety. Quick Wicks, Juicy Wicks. You guys trust me. There's a link in the bio. Let's vape some of this stuff because I've been building for 30 minutes or something and we haven't had any fun just chatting and vaping. Yeah, so what did we do first? We did the gold. Hey, where did my gold? Oh, we didn't build on the gold B2K. Oh, we got to do that too. I guess I may just do that in a different show. So here's the axis. We're going to raise the watts up to about 50. There we go. Works fine. I think the Axis in general has too much airflow, or too much juice flow, and not enough airflow with the bottom to match the airflow in the middle. The airflow in the middle is too big. And so listen to the slurping. It starts to slurp. You can hear it. Uh-oh. The batteries are dead in this beautiful mod. Absolutely love this thing so much. Have some. This is my only 18650 mod that I use, and it is the Aspire. I love this thing. And I put the batteries in backwards, didn't I? Haha, good job, Juicy. That's weird that I discharged these batteries, but they aren't working. What happened, y'all yins? Oh, yeah, they are. So this is my Aspire Skystar. I hate 18650s. I love this mod. It's great. Oh, Jim tried Skystar in the Revo today. What'd you think, buddy? So this thing has as good an airflow as it can, but it's too loud. But you notice that the wicking works just fine. We've been vaping this at 50 watts here, 4 or 5 in a row. Okay, let's say the Revo gets hot. Yeah, my Revo gets hot. Okay. And what else did we do? We did the Serpent RDTA. And we did this one with the Texas Tuff Juicy Wicks, Quick Wicks. Oh no, we did this one with Texas Tuff Quick Wicks. And Quick Wicks is the technical RTA cotton. If you have trouble with technical stuff, squeezing performance out of your RTAs, Quick Wicks is what you want. I love this thing. That's 32 watts, 33 watts. I think I'll go up to 40. Oh, I love this thing. The Serpent RDTA is one of my favorites. It was one of my favorites from last year. It's still one of my favorites. I still use it all the time. Absolutely love it. But you have to use Quick Wicks with this because technically it just requires a little bit more of the orientation. It goes up to the top there. It just needs for it to be guided a little bit better. It's just my opinion. Quick Wicks makes this sing. Yum. That's great. It's working great. What else did we do? We also have Quick Wicks in the Pyramid. Like I said, this is the Squonker. Right now I've got it on bypass. It's a 1/4 ohm. Yum. This is the Apple Fritter. Where is that? From Van Gogh Vape. Yummy. I don't have it on my desk. This is something I put in here before. It must be from one of the Squonk bottles. Apple Fritter. It's yummy. Rain W says he gets on-off dry hits with the Revo. If you get dry hits in the Revo ever, it's because you're not tilting it enough. So just do this. Usually the active vaping does it, but the only way you can really get dry hits is if you don't tilt it. Like if you vape like that, you're going to get dry hits. You have to do this. Watch my video, 7 Things You Don't Know About the Revo. Great video. It tells you about the tilting. And what else did we do? We did the Haster, the beautiful Haster, which we did with the Juicy Wicks, Quick Wicks, a little bit more absorbent, but also has all the combing that goes into the Quick Wicks line. I should check my wattage. 30 isn't enough. I'm going to 40. 1. Yum. It's so good. Not a high airflow one. This is a low airflow. You can go down to nothing. This will go to MTL, but I've got it full open right now. Love the Haster. It's great. But so I just wanted to show you guys that I use Quick Wicks and Quick Wicks, Juicy Wicks, Texas Tuff for everything. And I get asked this all the time. what cotton do you love, Juicy? And it is always Texas Tuff, and it's because it performs the best in these scenarios. It performs the best in squonkers, it performs the best in single coils, the best in technical ones, like even the old school RTAs. It works better in those, and it works in RDAs better. I just love it. Single, dual coil, all of them. But you have to match the kind to what you're doing. So the more absorbency you need, move towards the Juicy Wick style, and the more orientation and stranding you need, go towards quick wicks. And there's one in the middle. So I love them. Lake, how's the flavor? It's great. Doesn't burn. It's super good. You have to pre-wet it, like I showed you. That's all. It isn't like Ango Rabbit or Kendo cotton, because it's not spongy and shreddy. So you can't just drip liquid on there and have it just get all wet. The reason why that seems good in RDAs is because for RDAs that's fine. But in RTAs that require a little bit more orientation and stranding, you need to have oxygen tunnels inside between the cotton that's inside there. They need to be combed out, and for RTAs, and that's why this is better cotton, in my opinion. Works better, especially for squonkers. Right, squonkers are like, one of the reasons why the spongy stuff works best in squonkers is that the sponge is pretty good at just evening out the stuff that's inside of it, but it doesn't mean that it's any faster. It's pretty slow. Squonking you just have tons and tons of pre-vaped e-liquid that gets down there, and the sponge just lets it sit there. But all your other e-liquid's going through that too. So remember, it's kind of like a Revo with a 2-week-old coil. Like, it's going to turn all your e-liquid black. That's how it is. You guys got cotton? We're coming up on an hour, so I am so disappointed. But we got to go. It's like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I've showed you everything I wanted to show you, but I didn't have enough time for the conversation I wanted to have. But I absolutely love all you guys. Come back on Wednesday. We're here on Wednesdays and Saturdays in the morning doing Vape AM and Vaping Dawn to Dusk as a sideshow sometimes when I have interview people. And all of you are so great. I want to really thank all of you, especially Lake, who donated $5 to the channel, and I really, really, really appreciate it. Don't think anyone else did. Thank you all so much. And you guys, if you're interested, give Texas Tuff a try. But, like I said, I'm not one of those people who thinks that you have to only use one kind of cotton. I'm just showing you what I use. I use Texas Tuff because I think it works best, and I showed you why. And I'm not really down on any other kind of cotton except Ango Rabbit. Don't buy that stuff. But if you live in America, there's no reason why you should use anything but American cotton. And if you live in England, you're probably using Indian cotton, which is great. And Japan also has great cotton. And Indonesia does have good cotton. Many places in the world. So anyway, you guys be nice. We're trying to get old here on Juicy Dones headquarters. So follow us here. Go to juicydoneschq.com and follow us on Instagram as well. I love all you guys. Let's vape out. I'm going to take a slight drink of coffee first. Delicious. And I'm going to vape out on the Haster because the Haster is great. Thank you guys so much. I love all you.